Hello, my name is Genesis Gastelum, and I'm a senior accounting major from Mexico. I am doing my capstone research project on the path to becoming a Fortune 500 CEO. I am looking into the career path and education of the Fortune 500 CEOs. The Fortune magazine publishes the ranking of the 500 largest U.S. corporations based on revenue. To narrow my research, I am only focusing on the top 100 companies of the list published in 2015. I decided to research this topic because I believe that most college students with a business-related major such as accounting, economics, and finance have dreamed about being a CEO. Therefore, I believe that anyone whose goal is to become a CEO sometime in the future will be interested in this research. Even if you're not aiming to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, looking into the career path and education of some of the top executives in the country will provide you with a good guidance to achieve your professional goals. The specific question that I am trying to answer with my research is there a specific path that business people should follow to become a Fortune 500 CEO? I started my research by trying to find out if anyone has done research on this topic before. Most of the existing research that I have found has been focused on identifying the common qualities that among CEOs. I have found many different books that describe the common characteristics that CEOs share. For example, the book, The Global Leaders of the 24th Century, states that all effective leaders must be committed to risk-taking and innovation, have a global mindset, be comfortable with technology, and understand the importance of ethics in the workplace. Another idea in which management experts seem to agree is that the workplace environment is changing. According to the book, The New CEOs, in 2011, 74 either former or current CEOs were either women, African American, Latino, or Asian American, compared to only 21 in 2000 and nearly 0 in 1991. Although this existing research has helped me understand the qualities that a chief executive officer must possess, I intend to focus my research more on the specific education and career path that most CEOs follow instead of their personal characteristics. I was able to find a research conducted in 2010 by two professors of the University of Finland in Ohio. They identified the levels of degree earned by the CEOs of the Fortune 500 companies of the list published in 2008. This research had a similar purpose to mine. However, I am attempting to extend my research by not only identifying the CEO's education, but also determining how their work experience and career path influence their success. After exploring the existing research in my topic, I identified the companies that I am using to conduct my research. I got the top 100 companies from the Fortune magazine website. Then, I found the biographies of all 100 CEOs by visiting each of the company's websites. From these biographies, I was able to gather data regarding the CEO's education and career path within the company. After gathering enough raw data, I started to analyze it. The first analysis that I conducted was to identify how many CEOs have an undergraduate degree. I was able to find information about 98 out of the 100 CEOs, and 100% of them had at least a bachelor's degree. This was an increase of 5% from Martelli's and Abel's findings in 2008. From this, then identified the most common undergraduate degrees. As you can see, most CEOs have a business background, which is not surprising. This category includes business administration, marketing, management, and other business-related majors. One thing that caught my attention was that 17% of the CEOs have an engineering background. However, after looking at the companies, I realized that many of them do business in the oil, aerospace, and car industry, so it is not surprising that many CEOs are either chemical or electrical engineers. Next, I looked into the CEO's graduate education and found out that only about 60% of them have more than a bachelor's degree. Then I tried to identify the most common graduate degrees for the CEOs, and as expected, MBA was by far the most common one. What I thought it was interesting is that a significant amount of CEOs also have a law degree. However, this is understandable considering that in 1969, Peter Drucker, the founder of modern management, said that the business leader of tomorrow will have to know as much about other institutions, and especially about government, as he knows about business. Peter Drucker said this almost 5 decades ago, but as we can see, this is true due to the complex law and regulations imposed on large corporations. Then I analyzed and identified the undergraduate schools to which CEOs go, and found out that surprisingly, only about 12% of them got their bachelor's degree from an Ivy League school. Almost half of them earned their undergraduate degree from a public university. This seems to disprove the common belief that most CEOs go to Ivy League schools. However, if we look at the second graph, we can see that this is true since most CEOs with a graduate degree went to an Ivy League school. Next, I identified the age at which most CEOs usually reach their current position. As you can see, almost half of them became CEOs when they were between 51 and 55 years old, which implies that they had about 30 years of experience before they took on this position. Lastly, I also looked into the most common positions that CEOs hold before being the Chief Executive Officer. As you can see, most CEOs hold some type of executive position before being the top leaders in their company. This category is mostly composed of different vice president positions, such as Vice President of Marketing, Product and Development, and other sections. The single most common position before being a CEO is the Chief Operating Officer. The COO is usually considered the second person in command in a company, so it's not surprising that most CEOs hold this position before being the top executive of their company. Other common positions were the Chief Financial Officer position and being the CEO of a subsidiary before being the CEO of the parent company. Finally, we can see that a significant amount of CEOs, 60%, were hired directly for the CEO position. However, this information should not be deceiving, since all of the CEOs have held leadership positions at other companies, so they have many years of experience. As of now, this is all of the analysis that I have done. However, I plan to continue analyzing my data by identifying how many of these companies do business abroad, and how many of these CEOs are male, female, and how many of them belong to a minority. As mentioned before, the book, The New CEOs, states that the profile of the typical white male CEO is changing, so I want to find out if my population agrees with this statement. As of now, this is all that I have planned, so thank you for your attention.